Join me to be inspired, uplifted every time you watch the show. Welcome to the Jenn G show. Happy rainy Friday Eve here in South Florida. But as I watch what's going on weather-wise around the country, I really have nothing to complain about. So welcome. All right, we have Jeff Greenberg here, and he's going to talk about a fantastic event. It has an interesting name, so we're going to be fairly strategic. So I tell you now, go to the Facebook page, and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So, but before that happens, I want to show you something. Jeff owns Promo Stuff For You, and they have everything. If you need business cards, if you need holiday gifts for your clients, whatever you need. And he brought me a present, and you've all been watching the show long enough to know I love a present. And check this out. This is like the coolest thing for so many reasons. It is like a planner that I could put my notes in, but it's also a charging station. What? Yep, it is. So here's the NFC charge where you just put your phone here and it can charge. This is a thumb drive with a little sparkle thing on it, also magnetic. And then I could put all my notes.
It's to match your personality.
That's right. I could put all my notes here, but that's not even the incredible part, right? Wait for it. That's the charging piece. Is that crazy? So then you just turn it on, and it has a port for a Samsung and an iOS system, and then Android and iOS. You just take it out and charge. Like, that's genius.
Yeah, it's becoming very popular. I brought those in about 4 or 5 months ago, and they're becoming very popular.
And for holiday seasons, the minute you showed me this, I was like, now I have to buy these.
It's a very unique item. Not everybody's offering it. And so the logo is embossed, or debossed rather, in the bottom. So there it is. And so, yeah, it's very classy. It's not something that is normally given away. So I fell in love with it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And the minute I took it out of the box, there's other people here at the radio station in the lobby. Now everybody wants to know, how can you get this? So I'm going to tell you right now, you go to Promo Stuff For You, and the number 4, you, and you get in contact with Jeff, and he will hook you up, and you'll look like a superstar for the holidays.
Yeah, they're great. And if you're using the notebook, you just use the cable. If you're not, it just sits on top. Like, so cool. I've been at lunch, throw it on top, turn it on, and my phone just charges.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, people are geniuses. So I was so excited. I just had to share with you what you can get from Promo Stuff For You. But that's really not why Jeff is here. So we'll get down to the business at hand. All right. So Jeff has been a part of an amazing networking platform that allows entrepreneurs or anybody in business to get up in front of how many people they get. And you've been getting a crowd. So it's been quite a nice group of people. Get up and tell the stories of some things that they did in business that wasn't their best moment. So you can only imagine where we're leading with the name of this event. But it's not their best moment, and what happened. And it's not to teach a lesson. It's just for people to get, oh gosh, that person did this, and they did a crazy thing, and that was not good.
Well, I mean, as entrepreneurs, we all fail. We all stutter. We all fall. These are the stories that talk about those failures, what they did wrong, the partner that they trusted that they shouldn't have, mistakes that they made when they went into business. So we all have it. And what I found really cool about the concept when I first heard about it is I wish someone would have taught me or said, these are some things that you might want to look out for, or to know that, oh, you did that too. Like, I'm not the only, dumb guy
silly person
in the room.
Right.
I made that mistake too. So, it's a great opportunity to learn from, some great people and, things to avoid, things that they did that they shouldn't have, or steps they took. So it's really, I find it helpful.
And I find as an entrepreneur, oftentimes it's so easy to be doing things in a vacuum. And when things go wrong for you, you think to yourself, this has never happened to anybody else. And
Yeah.
you come to this event and you hear 4 speakers, and they all have different experiences of what's happened. And somebody, this is your 4th event?
Yes, fourth.
4th event. So somebody at some point is going to do the same ridiculousness that you do. And
Yeah.
we've had great speakers. You've had Lindy.
Lindy, she was amazing.
She was tremendous.
She was just amazing.
She was.
And you know what though, her speech hit home for a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, it was a simple thing that she sort of took for granted, and she made a mistake.
And she did. And
Yeah.
it's fantastic. And it's on your Facebook page?
Yeah, so you can absolutely friend me, Jeff Greenberg, and you'll see my pretty face in glasses and shirt and tie. And then you'll see the different pages, and you'll know which page it is by the name. It's got a pretty straightforward name.
FCC rules don't allow us
That's
to.
correct. That's right. And we don't want any problems.
But if anything, this is now like a little tease, a little tantalizing. Like, now I want to know what this is called. And so this is your 4th one.
Right.
You've had 12 speakers so far, 12 different speakers.
So we've had people like you had a great story.
I had a great story.
And Debbie Weems.
She had a great story.
Yeah. I love Debbie. If Debbie's watching, she knows I love her.
She is like the LinkedIn queen.
Oh, like if there's anything you need to know about LinkedIn, she's the lady.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had George Dubeck.
Yes.
You know, that was great.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, we've had some great speakers. So we've had 12 speakers. The idea is to have 3 to 4 speakers per event, and share their story.
And they've all been moments where people can feel the pain of that entrepreneur if you're new to business. And then because there's been some time, there's like a comedic piece to it. And everybody feels like there's such nice camaraderie. And it's so different than your typical networking event because the speakers become very raw and vulnerable.
Yes.
And it puts this whole, we're all in this together kind of feeling.
Yes, yeah. So that's exactly it. So as you said, the last event we had a really good turnout, and this turnout looks like it's going to be pretty good too. So I'm looking forward to. We've got some great speakers coming up. Can I say who they are?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's your
so
show.
I'm going to try to remember. We have a lady that I was introduced to by Lauren Cohen. Her name is Debbie McDonald, and she's got a very interesting story. And I don't want to give too much away.
No, I know, because I'm going, so I definitely want to
So, yeah, but she's got a really good story. And then we've got Michael Wisniewski.
Oh, yeah, he's got a great story.
I'm sure. I don't know what it is. He hasn't told me. And Michael Dill, action coach, right?
Another guy. Oh my gosh, this is like an all-star lineup.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's really good. And then I can't remember the 4th one offhand, which is going to land me in trouble, I'm sure. But
that could be part of your next story for the other
for
time you're on it. Yeah.
But we've got some great speakers lined up. It's going to be a lot of fun. And American Craft Yo Works is hosting, and it's funny because you and I have spoken about the consistency of the event, and that's where we're going to stay. We've found a really good home. Rich Simon has been fantastic for us. They've got great food and, of course, beer.
So they have food? No kidding.
Yeah. So, listen, liquid confidence, beer, so.
Well, what's interesting to me is this is a global platform.
Over 300 cities, 86 countries, and to date, they've estimated there's well over 1 million attendees. And if you go on Instagram, you'll see a lot, like there is all over the United States,
right.
Toronto. This is a friend of mine in Toronto have actually appeared, and that's what got me into this. Madrid, Spain, Brazil, everywhere.
And it's
Egypt.
Well, that's interesting. And you can go probably on their YouTube and watch some people in other countries. So when you get to Jeff's Facebook page, just friend him, and it'll take you to all the links to get to this event.
Yeah.
It's November 22nd.
November 20th.
20th, okay.
7 p.m.
I should put that on my calendar.
And based on the way things are going, I prefer people buy the tickets early because we can only get 55 people up there for because of fire code. So I would rather sort of people get their tickets in advance because we were close to capacity last time.
Oh, I would definitely think you're if one or two, or definitely at capacity.
Yeah,
for sure.
So if you want to get in, you need to get your tickets in advance. So.
And what's funny, I think, is first people were like, I don't know, but they judged it based on the name of the event.
Exactly.
And we know people that we both tried to get there, and they wouldn't go. They went to the last one, they're like, I'll definitely be back.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes, they had a great time. They couldn't believe it. So some people did some testimonials, and Lindy did a bunch of testimonials with people. Yeah, she was amazing. She knows I love her.
Yeah.
So yeah, but they wouldn't. That's right. They wouldn't come because of the name.
Because of the name. And so talk about prejudging something. And they were saying, I'm so glad I came. Because we basically forced people. And we're like, no, trust us. You're really going to like this.
Yeah.
The other thing that's interesting is it's not like you just get up there and, there are rules. So
there's a format.
There's a format to it. There is a timeline to it. You're able to show, it's better if there's a visual piece for you to have. So this is a tried and true formula.
Yes.
Well, 1 million people. Come on, you can't.
Well, so each speaker gets sort of a speaker package as to the format, how it works, and they do a presentation. It's a PowerPoint presentation, and
I thought the format package that you sent me was very good because I got to watch some people already. They were Canadian. At the venues, showing how they did and what the whole. So you don't just get up there and feel like you're free falling. You know what you're going to be doing.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, I mean, I don't know if the Toronto group is watching. They've perfected it. So we only charge $10, and you get a beer for that. So, but the Toronto group charges $100, and they get well over 100 people to every event.
Wow!
And they've had some major sponsors. They've done a phenomenal job on promoting the event and stuff. So
they're a really good blueprint to follow.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do. Is follow.
So it's November 20th.
7 p.m. it starts at American Craft Ale Works
in West Palm.
West Palm Beach, 200 Clematis Street, and we're going to be on the upper level. Which was one mistake I made, is I didn't have anything to say, go upstairs.
Oh, right.
On the last event. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. So just go. And what I like is that there is this networking piece afterwards, because everybody who's there, they're already people who are in business, and they're looking to meet each other. And now you get all these like-minded people. It's great. And just side note, I got business out of going.
Yeah, well, so did, I think Lauren Cohen did, and a few other people did. So
and
a lot
Lindy,
of people,
I think, did as well.
Yeah, I think so, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so there is business to have, and after the fact, and it was really good. Everybody loved it.
All right, one more time, how can people get in touch with you?
Okay, so go to my Facebook page, so Jeff Greenberg, and then you'll see the page. I don't know how. I can't say
think that's perfect.
Yeah, so that's the best way to do it. Or go to Jenn. You follow, right?
Yes, yeah.
And by the way, I gotta give thanks, because our event has really blossomed because of Jennifer.
Oh,
because you've been so supportive. So
it's a great event.
Jennifer's been a good friend of mine for quite some time now, and I love her to death, which is, so thank you, because you did help.
You're welcome.
You've helped a lot, and continues to grow. So, but friend Jenn, and we can direct you at that point.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we get back, we're going to learn why you really need to go to the right insurance agent. So stay tuned.
Does your business Mobipop? A new way to grow your business. Using a simple keyword, drive customers right to you with just a click. Customers will receive your personalized digital business card within seconds, with all your contact information in one place, including a gallery of photos, videos, and clear call to action that drives sales. Promote your products and services, or share a hot new listing with custom event pages and RSVP form, boosting qualified leads. Special offers and promotions are directly sent to your potential customers' phones with text campaigns, increasing foot traffic and creating a loyal following. Let Mobipop drive your marketing campaign. Focus on your business. Let Mobipop focus on growing it.
Welcome back. You've been listening to the Jenn G Show, sponsored by Mobipop. To learn how you can be a part of the Mobipop movement and elevate your business, contact me. Text WIN to 80800. And we're back. So don't forget, go to Jeff's Facebook page, find the event we're talking about. But now we have another guest, and I'm super excited. This is Erica Height, and she is with the Brightway Insurance, the Height Group, the Height family.
The Height Agency.
Height Agency, all of those things. She's a group of family and agency.
Yes.
She's everything. And we met, and what you do is important, but I was really struck by your teaching component piece of it. And when we were talking, you were saying that you really like to work with first-time home buyers.
Yes, love it.
And tell me why that is.
Well, a lot of people, first-time home buyers, they don't understand what they need for their insurance. And, I like to explain the coverages because they just say, I need a policy. They have no idea about contents. They don't know about the dwelling. I just like to sit down and educate so that they're comfortable because they come to us. They have their personal agent. And that's just what I like to do to make sure that they're comfortable with me and they know they're putting their home into my hands, or their auto insurance, or their jewelry policies, anything that it is. And I like to sit down and explain everything so that they're comfortable and they understand.
And I like this because if you're a first-time home buyer, right, you're already nervous that you're buying a home. I know my husband and I went through this, and we didn't have anybody help us with our insurance. And it turns out that we were undercovered.
And that happens a lot. It does.
Yeah.
And I like when people also come in to talk to me just to review their policy. And sometimes people have too much coverage or they don't have enough. And that's really common.
I will tell you another thing, and you had hit the nail on the head when you said that you should get your jewelry insured, because we didn't even think of that. My engagement ring was stolen, and that was the end of that. Like, it wasn't insured, nothing was insured, and it was stolen from our house.
Sometimes people also think that you do have a minimal coverage for jewelry on your homeowner's policies. But people don't know and they don't understand. That's another thing, too, is they think they have the coverage for personal property or personal contents, which it's not necessarily. You get most of the time about $1,500 of coverage. But, to get a actual jewelry policy, because a lot of people think that's a personal property, it's your contents, but it's technically it's not covered.
Right.
So that's another thing that, I like to explain, too. People are misinformed a lot. Sometimes people get quotes from somebody else that's low just to get them the policy. But with me, again, I'm insuring people. I want to make sure that they're comfortable, they have the right coverage. So if something happens and they have a claim, for instance, and they have, what's been happening recently is there's a lot of policies with limited water, and people don't understand that either. They say, well, this is so inexpensive, and this is why. This is why I like to tell them, because the lower the coverage is, the lower the policy, or the lower the premium. But
And that's what I would tell people, if you get a lower policy, number one, you have to have a professional.
Correct.
Like Erica. You guys have to be able to explain it.
Yes.
We got a policy, and we didn't even get the full policy in writing. They just gave us this was back when we were living in New Jersey. They just gave us a bunch of pages. So
Right.
Here's someone who has taken the time to educate me, to find out about me, find out, do I have children? Where do I live? What do I need?
It's important to know all those things. It really is, because people don't know these things. And before I was in the insurance industry, I didn't know anything either, especially for auto insurance. I just wanted a, quote, cheap, and I hate that word.
Right.
But a cheap policy, because but you have to understand, especially in Florida.
I was going to bring that up. Yes.
Especially in Florida. You have to have the right coverages. I mean, if you're driving around with minimal coverage and something happens, you put your assets at risk, and that's just things people don't understand.
And here's another thing. So, as you all know, we've been here for about 3.5 years. We moved from New Jersey. But Florida is a whole different beast. I mean, when people are like, do you have impact windows? I'm like, I don't even know what that means.
Correct.
Is your garage door impact? No. And then you find out, I had heard of hurricane season, but that's real.
It is a lot of things, too, that people don't understand. And one thing I want to stress to anybody who's listening about flood policies, it's so important. And people say, oh, I'm not in a flood zone. It's not about being in a flood zone. If you're in a flood zone, you're more at risk. But Florida's a peninsula. We're all at risk.
I was just going to say, we're all
Yeah.
a flood zone.
And there's people who, I don't know if you remember a couple years ago, and I use this example a lot. We had a torrential downpour for like 2 weeks. And there were people who were not in a flood zone that had floods. And, people don't understand the difference. Another thing, too, like between a flood and water damage in your home.
Right.
So that's something that's so important. And I always try to tell people, I give them my opinion. And obviously, at the end of the day, it's their decision.
Right.
But I try to explain how important it is to have these coverages. You always get insurance, to protect yourself, hoping not to use it. But when you need it, it's there. I mean, flood insurance, especially in hurricane season, is so important. If we have a torrential downpour or a hurricane, you're at risk for that.
Right, and I say that often. You know how many mountains there are in Florida? Zero. There's zero. There's no high ground.
No.
So there are none. There is no elevation. This is all like basically sea level is
Yes.
for the most part.
Yes.
Interestingly enough, you can talk to people because you've been doing this for a while and say, I've seen this scenario. I've seen this
Yes.
scenario. I've had people come to me who weren't properly covered, and we got them the right coverage.
Absolutely.
You can really speak to a whole host of things.
I see it all the time, and I use examples too when people say they don't need this or don't need that, and I say, well, this happened. Obviously, I never use somebody's name, but I'll explain I've seen this happen to somebody just so that they understand how important it is. And just people, I know it can get expensive, but it's so important. You're spending so much money on your home to fully cover it
and
properly.
everything that's in your house.
Absolutely. All of your personal contents, everything.
Yeah.
So
Let
important.
me ask you a question. Is there
Sure.
such thing as alligator insurance?
Alligator insurance?
Yeah, like is that
Not-
a thing? I never had alligators. We were from New Jersey. I'm just really being silly, but the amount of alligators that are behind our house is crazy.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, they probably should in Florida have alligator insurance, but no, I don't think there is such a thing.
Okay.
Not that
Just-
I know of yet, at least.
Something to think about, right?
Yes.
I'm sure there's not. But interestingly enough, when you sit down with a couple or, people who just buy a home, they probably have a ton of questions or
Oh, yeah.
don't even know the right questions to ask.
That is true. And that's another thing, especially when people don't have. I love first-time home buyers because if they don't know what to ask, I like to sit down and say, this is why we're doing this, 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 and this.
Oh, I like
and
that.
I like to go, because, I want to be their personal agent. That's what my company is about. I
Right.
mean, my brother and I own the company. Our name speaks for itself. I mean, Brightway Insurance, we're the largest personal lines agency. We have every carrier in Florida for homeowners. And that's just the kind of reputation that we want to have. I want my customers to feel comfortable. And when they walk in my office and they don't know anything, I say, well, let's start from scratch. Let's talk about the interior of your house. I mean, because your house could, we have something that we do online. It's called a replacement cost estimator. It kind of tells the value of the home.
Oh, that's interesting.
It is, but there's also like if you have upgrades in your home that we don't know about, marble, granite, things like that, crown moldings, that can increase the value of your home. So I like to sit down and figure out exactly what they have, what they have in contents, and then we go from there and explain everything on the policy. Because, I mean, before I bought a house too, I had no idea.
No clue.
idea.
Another group of people that come down, and they're here because it took me a half hour to get to the station today.
Oh my gosh, me too.
Is the snowbirds are here.
Yes.
So you still need to insure your house. If you're a snowbird
yeah.
and you're not here for 6 months or 4 months, you need to keep that insurance up.
100%. And one thing that a lot of people don't understand too, speaking of that, is sometimes if people leave and they have auto insurance and they have it in Florida, they want to just stop the insurance and pick it up when they come back.
Right.
You're never supposed to have even a day of a gap. You never want to have a day of a gap. Excuse me. And people don't understand that. It's very important to always make sure, because when you're away from home too, you don't know what happens with your piping in the house. Anything could happen.
Right.
And it's very important to always stay insured.
But that's very interesting about the auto insurance, because I know some snowbirds who keep a car here and a car in their like main state of
Yes.
residence, wherever they are, country. They do take their policy off their car. And I always thought to myself, what if a tree fell on their car?
Right.
You've now lost your $30,000, $50,000 investment.
It's so important. I know people, in order to maybe save money, they'll lower the coverage a little bit while they're out of town, which is fine. I always recommend to keep it. I know that it can get costly, but you got to think about that. What could happen? What if something happens?
Right.
It's important to keep that. I mean, people can lower their coverages, just to save a little bit of money while they're away. But again, I stress to everybody, never ever stop your insurance for anything. If you even want to, if you have your homeowner's insurance and you're getting a new policy tomorrow, don't cancel today
Right.
and do it tomorrow. You want to always make sure it's consistent.
I think that's really, really good advice. And, talking about advice, you're obviously successful. You have multiple agencies.
We do. We have one in Lake Worth, which is the one I run. My brother and I own it together. We have one in Boynton Beach, which is the one he runs, and then we have one in South Carolina as well.
Wow.
And one of his old producers is his partner out there. So we service South Carolina, Florida, and Georgia.
See, and it's a family-run agency.
It is. It's
and
really awesome.
That right there shows the whole family is dedicated to helping other families.
Exactly. And my brother Josh, he's phenomenal. I learned everything from him, and I look up to him. And he did. I mean, this is all basically from him. He bought the first agency, then we bought the second one, or he had another one in South Carolina. Then we bought the third one together, and he's awesome. So everyone that's in Josh's office in Boynton Beach, they know how he is. He's wonderful as well. Very, very knowledgeable, very smart, and when it comes to insurance, he knows his stuff.
I
and
love
I had
that.
a great teacher.
And I just want to say, this is how powerful what Erica does. She was in the lobby waiting to come on for the second half of the show and already picked up a client.
I did. It's so exciting. It is.
All right, I want to make sure that we know how people can get in touch with you. What's the best way?
You can go to my Facebook page, Erica Height, Brightway, and you can Google Brightway Insurance, the Height Agency, Lake Worth, or just give me.
And I'll also, when I share this interview, I'll put all your contact
Awesome.
information up there.
Great.
It's on the screen right now, but I want to make sure that people get to you because what you do, everybody needs specifically.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much
Thank
for coming
you,
on the
Jennifer.
show.
I appreciate it.
We're going to circle back around because I want to hear more, especially as we get deeper into like the hurricane season.
Awesome. Great.
Love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great night, everyone, and I will see you next week. Bye. Thank you so much for spending this half hour with me and my guests at the Jenn G Show, sponsored by Mobipop. Looking forward to seeing you next week where we connect, communicate, and collaborate. Have a great evening.
This message is sponsored by